Okay folks, welcome back to Fallout 4 once again on the PS4, and I say that because I'm hoping to very shortly switch over to do Fallout 4 on the PC, which will hopefully let me record things a little bit more easily. But right now we're on the PS4, and I wanted to show you another settlement that I've put together. We are here. Let me just show you on the map. You can see the settlement as it stands. Let me just show you on the map where we are. We're at County Crossing. For anyone who doesn't know where County Crossing is, it's on the east side of the map. If we kind of head down, there's Boston Airport, which obviously is where the Predwin is. And if we scroll across this way, there is Diamond City, and that's the Constitution. And I'm partway through the Constitution's quest. We won't worry about that too much now, but there's County Crossing. So if we come back into County Crossing, you can see what I've done with it, and I've done something a little bit different with this one to the other settlements that I've built. I kind of got this idea from something that I did with my previous character to rebuild the walls of the castle, which was using the concrete. These are the concrete shack foundations, and I've basically used them as gigantic concrete building blocks. And I've seen various people on YouTube and places doing exactly the same thing. I used it to rebuild the walls of the castle, but then I thought, well, why not try actually using them to build a wall around a settlement? Because it'll be a really solid wall that nothing can get through. And because it's shack foundation, you can blend it down into the ground so it runs nice and smooth and nice and straight, unlike a junk fence, which obviously doesn't. So that's basically what I've done. I've built myself a nice concrete wall around County Crossing. County Crossing is quite a small settlement, so this is really not very large at all. It took me about an evening, so probably about three hours to do this from scratch. County Crossing I hadn't done anything to, and it came under attack, and it took me quite a while to fend off that attack, which is kind of the reason why I decided to do this. So let's go inside through the gate, and you can see inside. These are the crops. These are the original crops from County Crossing. This isn't the original fence. That's a hovering Brahmin. This isn't the original fence. I took the original fence down and I've just rebuilt it so it fits more snugly into the walls. But it is roughly in the same place. It's just slightly different. These are the original crops. I have added a line of extra mut fruits down the end, and I've also added 2 rows of corn and some carrots. So we've got plenty of food here. At County Crossing, it's primarily a food production site, so that's what we've got going on here. Obviously our Brahmin feed trough is to keep the Brahmin over there, stop it wandering around. That Brahmin wandered in quite late on after I'd started to build the settlement, so unfortunately there isn't really space for it. I hadn't really intended to put one in here, but I had to, otherwise it's just going to wander off all over the shop. That's why it keeps sort of standing on top of it and getting itself stuck. So I need to try and think of a way around that. So, on the other end of County Crossing, I've built this kind of living and sort of area. This, in this corner, is the original hut, the original metal shack from County Crossing. And I've left this pretty much as is inside, so the mattresses are still here, the original ones, and all the interior is still there. I haven't really done anything to it. I've got myself a guard dog. You can buy dogs from various traders. One came by, offered the dog for sale, so I opted to take it, and it does add a little bit to your defense score. You know, and it's nice to have a dog around, and we've got a kennel here as well. I need to bring dog meat here, actually, and just see how the two react to each other. But anyway, I've got some patio tables and chairs down here just to help with the happiness rating. I've moved the cooking station. That is the original cooking station, but I've moved it. The fire is actually over here underneath that contraption, but I've moved the cooking station to a more logical place, and I've built 2 more huts. This one is just built onto the ground, which is why you've got all of the undergrowth coming through it, with some beds in it. And this one's actually built on stilts, and again that's just got some mattresses and things in it. There's capacity here for 10 people. At the moment I have 7, but because it's not a very big settlement, I've decided to cap it at that. So I've turned off the recruitment beacon. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so this is pretty much the living space. Obviously we've got the wall. As you can see, we've got some railings up there. This contraption is a stairwell that allows us to get up onto the wall. So if we climb up here, it's basically a covered shack staircase, and if we head up to the top, we can get on top of the wall. I had kind of originally planned to turn this into a kind of seating area and put patio tables and chairs and even a bar up here to try and help with the happiness, but I've come across a little bit of a problem. This is something I didn't realise. Each settlement has a size. Now I did see that size bar over at the top right hand corner, but I didn't really realise what it meant. I kind of assumed it was to do with the number of settlers you had, but it's not. It's to do with the amount of stuff you've built. And apparently when that fills up, you can't build anything else. And that's what happened. I sort of was down there building the various patio tables and furniture, and all of a sudden it said, you can't build anything else at this settlement. Nothing else can be built, because that bar had completely filled. So I've actually had to dismantle and scrap some stuff to be able to finish my power network off, because that wasn't actually finished. So it is a little bit of a problem there, so I can't do what I was going to do up here because I can't build much else at this settlement, which is a little bit annoying. I'm assuming that because it's a relatively small settlement site, the green border is not very big. I can't build as much stuff here as I can, say, at Sanctuary, where it's a much bigger settlement boundary, because I'm pretty sure I've got far more built at Sanctuary than I've got here, and I assume it's based on the number of parts. And in fairness, obviously these concrete blocks and shack foundations, there are quite a lot of them, so it's something I need to look into a bit more. But anyway, this is just an open space on top of the wall at the moment. We'll have a look over there in a second, but first of all, defence wise, I've got some laser turrets, and I've got a spotlight. They're on like a little platform around the corner, which is made up of shack floors, and they're all wired into the power network. The power network heads off round this way, and I'll show you that in a minute where that goes to. There's the recruitment radio beacon, which I have at the moment got switched off, so I don't attract anybody else to this settlement. With it being so small, I don't think it'll comfortably take 10 people. Okay, so power network distributes over this way and runs along the around the wall. We've got a guard post which is directly above the gate, and also on these little platforms I've got 2 heavy machine gun turrets, so plenty of defence again. And if I hop over this railing, NPCs, be quiet. If I hop over the railing, you can see I've got a power network that comes over here to basically the same installation. Without the railing, you can see how it's built. It's just 3 small shack floors on the corner, and then I've got 2 laser turrets and a spotlight. Most attacks on this settlement, when they tend to come from either this direction or over from that direction and coming round to the front. So defending the front is probably the best way to go, and hopefully any attack coming from this way won't even get anywhere near us. Whoa, Nick, what are you doing? Obviously, because I've run out of the ability to build extra parts, I was actually going to put laser turrets on every corner, but because I've hit this part limit, I'm a bit stuck, so there's no defence at the back, but I can walk around the wall, and from up here you can see the whole settlement, and it is quite compact. There's a lot crammed into a very, very small space, but I think that's quite realistic. We've got 7 people here. I'm not going to let it get any bigger than that. I don't know what on earth that Brahmin is trying to do. Some of the AI really does need a little bit of work. I think it would be much better if the Brahmin didn't try to climb stairs for a start. It would be just put it in the AI to not climb stairs. That would just be perfect. But anyway, you can see the crops up above and everyone working away down there. You can see the fence going around. It basically comes out the wall, goes around the corner and goes into the wall. And you can see all the shacks and everything else from up here. So it's quite good up here. The NPCs can't get around here because I've built those railings. But I obviously can jump over the railing. Other attacks tend to come from this direction, but they will not be able to get through this wall. So hopefully we can dispel them without them getting into the settlement. Now, over here, that's the original sort of demolished house, which forms the edge of County Crossing. There's not very much you can do with that, it's completely destroyed, but it is where the workshop is, and obviously you can't move that, so I've had to include it in the settlement. It's outside the main settlement wall, because the shape of the green settlement boundary meant that this was heading outside the buildable area, so I couldn't continue this wall all the way round. But so I had to cut it a bit short. But I have built a shorter wall around that building and around the edge of the settlement to protect it and keep people out. I've got a water purifier in the pond there, hooked into the power network, and as you can see, I've got 3 large generators generating power, and that's the power network that comes up to this, which then distributes it out to the various places. Settlement beacon is currently switched off, which we intend to keep it that way. If we jump over this back into this area, we can go down these stairs, and you can see these drop us down onto the outside of the wall into this little area. Obviously you cannot get in or out through here, but you can get to the workshop. Because you can't move this, I've kind of had to do this so I can get to it, but the attackers and NPCs can't get out, can't get anywhere down here, so it's all nice and secure. And that is pretty much it. It is a very, very small settlement. As you can see, it really is very small, but it's quite well developed. It's very well defended. It's primarily food production, and because of the supply lines, there's 2 supply lines here, one coming in from up that way, one going out down that way. We've got it's connected to the supply network, so it supplies food, and we've got quite a high food value up here. We've got a food value of 36, defense 59, so we're pretty good actually. This is very well defended, good food production area. Okay, it's small, but I quite like it. I think it's a nice little compact settlement. Took me about 3 hours to build this in an evening from scratch, which I don't think is pretty bad for a settlement development, really. And that is about it. It's a very, very small settlement, this. One thing I have done is move the fast travel target. Fast travel target is just there simply because I was fast travelling into the walls. So if you do build a settlement like this, do bear that in mind, to make sure you move your fast travel target, just to make sure that you're not morphing into the scenery, because you can get stuck. And that really is about it. Very small settlement, but I quite like it. Quite a nice little settlement, that one. Hopefully I can go off and develop some more of my smaller settlements to give them slightly better protection. I've just had a big attack on Greentop Nursery that I've had to fend off, so I think my next challenge is Greentop Nursery, and see if I can make that a bit more secure. But I think for that's County Crossing, so thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again soon.